We are going live. Yep, we are live. I am just going to wait a few minutes and put my computer down while I wait for you guys to join the live. It's a late evening live. So, yes. So, yes, guys, we are going live. Welcome to another live. It's Friday, and it's a beautiful day today. Actually, we're in the pluses, and I'm so happy about that. But today we're going to talk about Trump trade wars. We're going to talk about U.S. tariff hitting hard. We're going to talk about the effect it will cause on individuals and families. So that is what the topic is going to be about today, as you can see in the heading. So let's get right into the topic. And welcome to those of you who are already in the chat. Thanks for coming. So how like this trade wars of Trump is really causing a problem. As you can see everywhere, it's just like a big, huge problem. And everybody's like talking about these trade wars because I think that's something that everybody should pay attention to. Not to go crazy about it or like be like haywire, but just pay attention about what is happening. Know what is happening and take heed to what is happening so you can know what to do in relation to your family and stuff like that. So I am paying close attention to this trade war and what is going ahead because this is something serious and everybody should really take note of it and like don't be in the dark. But one of the biggest thing that this trade war is going to cause is um rises in prices. And so people are going to have to spend more for goods and services. Some people will be hit harder than others, right? That's a that's what's going to happen. The people who has money, it's not going to affect them so much, but the people who don't have money, and is struggling, these are the people it's going to hit the most. So I think if the trade war continue and it doesn't stop and it's spread across all these countries, like we see Trump see all the countries who is going to charge tariff on, like this is going to have a big impact on this. I think this is going to cause like the poverty level to increase. You know what I mean? Because some places they're already going through like high poverty. So I mean, hi Freddie, everything is good. I mean, there's high poverty already. So when you add high prices, it's just gonna be worse because if somebody's paying $1 for something and now they have to pay two, you know, it's like, thank you, hey guy. I'm speaking from Canada. So it's like if you pay $1 for something and then now you're paying two and you could hardly afford to pay the $1 before, you know it's like it's just gonna be crazy. Can you imagine that? This is just like ridiculous. Like politicians are out there and they're supposed to be caring about the people, but they're not caring. you know it's like they're not caring about the people at all. Why they're doing all this nonsense, they're still having their dinners and having their good times, and it's the individual that is suffering. That's Oh, you work for Infinity? That's in America. Oh, you live in America. Yeah, I don't live in Canada, so we are on opposite end. And yeah, it's this trade war is affecting both countries. But we as individuals, we still have to take heed, and we still have to like look out for ourselves and our communities, because like this trade war is really causing a problem. So as an individual, it's going to affect a lot of people, like I was just saying. It's just like, can you imagine? It's like if you way down here on the poverty line, it's just going to bring you lower down. Just imagine, right? Just imagine like a single mother who have she's maybe making $1,200 or something like that, and she's already struggling to pay rent. She's already struggling to look after her kid, and then now she has to pay more rent and she has to pay more in food. That's gonna be not good at all. You know what I'm saying? And this woman is struggling by. So that's going to cause a problem. And these are the kind of people that this is going to hit. This is also going to hit seniors who are on fixed income. That's going to hit them too. You know, they can make more money. That's all the money they're getting. That's going to hit them hard also. You know, it's not like the government is putting tariff on things and after he's going to say, okay, we're going to give more money to seniors. No, that's not what they're doing. So, you know, when all these things happen, it's not really these big politicians and all these people there who's suffering. There's a small man, is an individual and their families that are suffering. People who are on disabilities, you know, disability allowance or something, they're gonna suffer also because yeah, this is all they're getting. If they're getting $1,000, that's it. The money's not gonna go up, and the economy is really hard. So just imagine, it's like this is just terrible. This this trade war is really going to affect a lot of people. And yeah, I think people got to start to think, really think, and start making some drastic changes, because if you don't make drastic changes, you're going to be left in the dust. You know what I mean? Sometimes when we see things when we see things um oh, I already say hi to you. I said hi to you since you came on. uh I said to you hi since you came on. So we have to like pay attention to like these things when it happens, because it is not going to go away. It's not going to go away. We need to take precautions in our life, and just make changes. We got to start living frugally. We got to make drastic changes, like I just said, and step up our game. Because if we don't step up our game, we, you know, things are just gonna go south for us. You know, so it's just bad. You know, it's just bad. um, but other people who also gonna be affected is people who working like on minimum wages. People working on minimum wages, they're going to be also affected, because again, the minimum wage is not going to go up. The minimum wage is going to stay the same thing, but prices and services and goods, everything is going to go up. So these people are going to be affected. People who have good jobs, good careers, whatever, and they're making $67,000, it's not going to affect them so much. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when we the little man see these things are happening, we need to take steps and not just be like, oh, that is happening, maybe it's gonna pass. No, it's not gonna pass. It's not gonna pass at all. These things are gonna continue and it's gonna get worse and worse. So my advice to you guys is people have to start to really be realistic, and start saying like, what can I change in my life? Let me see if my volume is up, because sometimes I'm talking and my volume is so low. Yeah, people got to start saying like, what can I change in my life? What things can I do in my life to make a difference that's going to be beneficial to me, that's going to make me have more money in my pocket and not be struggling. And that's a serious thing. When the prices of food went up a couple of months ago, like everybody was panicking, but many people made some big changes, you know, big changes. And so start with the big changes. Start doing that, because this is what is going to have to happen. This thing is not just going to wash over overnight. Just imagine all the products that is being produced for cars, for household items, little tiny parts for different things. You know, if something was now 50 cents, now it's gonna be like $2.50. Like this is gonna be so expensive. So sometimes you're paying 50 cents for, now you're paying like $2.50, $3, you know. So this is gonna be like just a lot. It's gonna be a lot. But anyways, I have some solutions for you guys, because I like to talk, but I also like to give solution, because talk with the solution is just talking, right? But some solutions I have is, you really gonna have to start cleaning house. And cleaning house mean, yeah, real cleaning house. You know, when you decide to just take everything out of your house and clean from top to bottom, give it a good clean, that is what you're gonna have to be start doing. You're gonna have to start clean up on your finances. Start with your finances. See what's happening in your finances. See what you can do to change your financial situation. See what you can do to keep some more money in your pocket. Do a budget, do something. You know what I'm saying? Do some kind of thing that's gonna help you to have some more money in your pocket. So that's what you call clean house. Clean house. You're also gonna have to like look around your houses and see like uh what do I have in here that I don't need? Or what do I have that I can sell, that I can get rid of, or stuff like that to have a little bit more money in my pocket, you know? Because if you have to spend more money and you don't have it, then the money gotta come from somewhere. So your house is a good place to start with, right? Maybe you have some books, maybe you have some jewelry, maybe you have some things that you can part with. My guitar as well. Maybe you have some things that you can part with. So part with them, because it's gonna be worth it, you know. Start saving your money, start putting money aside, start deciding if you're gonna buy, make a choice. Am I gonna buy this vegetable or am I gonna buy this other one here? Am I gonna buy this brand of canned food or am I gonna buy this kind of canned food? Look at the prices. Start really, checking the prices and see like, yeah, I'm not gonna buy this. It's 150. This is 225. I'm gonna just have to buy the 151 as much as I like the 225 one and the taste. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's like you have to make a choice because everything have to be paid. So you have to make a choice. So saving money have to be like another one of the house cleaning things that had to be. Frugality. Some people are like, they think like, okay, okay, you're frugal. That means you're cheap. You buying old things or you buying expired things. Or you buy, like, no. Frugal doesn't mean that you're buying expired things or you're just buying cheap things. No. Frugal mean you're being intentional in what you are spending. So be intentional in what you're spending, how you're spending your money. Be intentional is if you're gonna go shopping to buy clothes, be intentional. Go to the thrift store, see if there's any good deals there, any good brands. Go there and buy something for $5 instead of going to the store and buying something for 25. You know, maybe you go to the thrift store and you get four things, right? You go to the regular store and you buy something brand new and it's just one. Okay, so you have to think on that line and start being frugal and also taking your frugality up a next level. If you are not a frugal person, now is the time to jump on the frugality train. And if you're already a frugal person, just take it up a notch because that's what you have to do. Because the you work in a job and the pay is not going up, but the expenses are going up. All those things that you think you need that you're buying is spending money, right? And your pay is not getting more. It's the same pay you have, but you're spending more money. So you see, that doesn't make any sense, right? There's going to be a deficit. So you got to just take that frugality up another level. Like if you have subscriptions to certain stuff, maybe now is the time to get rid of it. If you're the person who has like a habit of buying shoes, but you don't wear them only once in a while, maybe now is the time to cut that out. Maybe now it's time to sell some of the shoes that you have. Because I know a lot of people, they love shoes and they have their shoes in the box and they clean it and they put it away. Maybe now it's time to do that. It's better to have cash in your hand than don't have cash at all. If you're a person who lives in a huge house, maybe now is the time to think about downsizing. Would I be able to afford this lifestyle? So downsizing may be better for you right now. Now, if you're a person who used to just buy whatever you want whenever you wish, whatever, you don't look at prices. I mean, now it's time to look at prices and things and be more intentional, which is spending. You know what I'm saying? Because uh, this is what's happening. Prices are going to go up. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a person also who you're very picky with certain things, maybe you have to stop being picky right now because maybe certain things that we used to buy before, we're not going to get it because some companies or some grocery store or something, they're not going to carry it because it's too expensive. Because if people are not buying a certain product or they're not buying like a certain food, the grocery store is not going to bring it in because nobody's buying it. It's too expensive. So you're not going to have that on the shelf. So if that's something that you like, find you're gonna have to find another alternative if that's something that you enjoy and use a lot. So you gotta kind of prepare yourself for certain things that's gonna happen, right? Take a look at your home also and see the things that you don't really use. Like we have a lot of things in our home, right? And it's just sitting there, it's not doing anything. Am I using that? Do I need this? Can I sell this? Can I make some money off of that? Now is the time to maybe to do all that, or maybe just now is the time just to get rid of things, honestly. Get rid of things, make some money, make some extra bucks. The next thing that we're going to talk about is gardening. Now, many of you garden. I know a lot of my viewers here, they garden, but some of you never garden. Maybe now is the time to pay attention on gardening. Because you know what? Say, growing your own food is going to be the hot topic now. Growing your own food. And your food that you grow is going to be everything at this moment. That's going to be your new supermarket. That's going to be the place where you're going to be going shopping right now, because some of these prices that are going to be in the store, a lot of people will not be able to buy a lot of things that they used to buy before. Okay? So start with seeds, right? If you have a good enough space, you have yard space, pluck out these flowers, all right? You don't need flowers. You can't eat flowers. Flowers is not going to be your survival. Sorry, I love flowers too. But in this age here, with all this economic crisis and this trade wars and whatever, flowers is not going to save my life as much as I love a beautiful flowers garden, right? So if I didn't have the space or whatever, I would just pluck out all my flowers, like dig up the lawn and plant food. Honestly, I'd make some flower bed, not flower beds. I'll make some raised beds. I'll get some pots and put down and start planting tomatoes, garlic, any and everything that I can put my hands on. I'll be planting that, you know, and starting to grow food for my family if if I did not have the space. But thank God, God is good. We do have the space, so we don't have to pluck up all lawn and do that. But some of you may have to do that. Some of you may be living in on like have a balcony, and you may need to like fill up your balcony with pots and start growing things on your balcony. That cilantro that you love to put in your food is $2.29. It may go up to $4.50 or $5. You know what I'm saying? So you can buy some seeds and you can grow your own cilantro and have endless amount of cilantro, and you don't have to spend that $5 every time you want to put cilantro in your food or in your pasta, or you like to put cilantro on your pasta and stuff like that. You don't have to do that, right? You can buy a packet of seed for $3, and that seed can last you for years because you can only use cilantro to go to seed and you can collect seeds, right? So you can make that process. So saving seeds and buying seeds right now is going to be a great investment for you. So when you go out there, if you say it's like, because this is happening right now, you're going to invest in seeds, I'm going to give you some suggestions on how to go about doing that stuff if you've never done it before, right? But if you're done it, if you're growing a garden, you still can get some good information. So what you're going to do is, if you're a new gardener, you're a beginner gardener, and you see what is happening right now in this world's craziness, go there and buy some seeds. And you want to buy seeds that you can they will flower, and then you can get seeds from them. So for example, carrots, if you leave your carrots, it will flower and you'll get a whole bunch of seeds from the carrots. Cilantro, thyme, rosemary. Well, rosemary do blossom, but you have to leave it rosemary is a kind of hit and miss. But if you're in a warm climate, you don't have to worry about getting rosemary seeds, because the rosemary we just kind of spread out, and once you trim it, it will come back all the time. So you don't have to worry about that. Mustard greens. If you plant mustard greens, you'll get endless amount of seeds because it bolts, and once it bolts, it makes a lot of seeds, and like thousands of seeds for the mustard. So the mustard is very good to grow because you can actually eat the mustard flowers. You can fry it up, and it's so delicious. It's like when the mustard flowers, it's so beautiful. It's like it looks like a flower garden. It makes like a beautification of the garden. And then the leaves itself, it's so delicious. That's how we eat, really. So mustard, it's just like a green. It's just like callaloo or something like that. The next thing you want to get is callaloo. Callaloo, there's two different varieties. Well, they have many varieties, but there's the two that most people grow is the red one. Some people call it amaranth, but we just call it callaloo. There is the red one, and then there is the green one. Now the green one has two varieties. It's a kind of broadleaf one, and then there's a kind of wild one, right? The wild one bolts very quickly, but the other one doesn't bolt so quickly. So I never grew the red one, but I grew the other two. So this year I'm gonna try to grow the red one. But if you grow those three, this excellent because you're gonna have endless supplies of green. All you need to go there, pick, and you can just cook that with rice or whatever you're gonna eat it with. You don't even have to put meat because it's so tasty. You could add coconut milk to it, whatever. So like that you can grow. Lettuce, like tomatoes. Tomatoes, you can save your tomato seeds and you don't have to buy tomatoes the next year. You can save all your tomato seeds next year, plant the same tomato that you grew the year before, right? Or if you're in a warm climate, like I said, you just uh, like grow in succession. So you might plant this tomato now 3 months, and then once they start to flower and everything, then you start to planting another set of tomatoes, so you can plant in succession, so you always have tomatoes. Pumpkins and squash, this is excellent because you can save those seeds, and if you plant a variety of squash that is a very hardy, you can save it for months. I had squash that I saved for 1 whole year. 1 whole year I had squash in the basement when I just started my garden, when I was not even on my country property. And the same thing when I was on my country property. I had squash that lasts for a long time. So you can find varieties of squash, like the long leg gourd squash. That's a good one. The Jamaican pumpkin, that's a good one. It's kind of rough. There's two. There's one that's kind of smooth, and there's this one that's kind of rough. You can grow these ones because they last a long time, over a year. So these pumpkins, you can grow them. There's another pumpkin that looks I don't remember the name right now, but it looks like it's huge. It's massive. I don't remember the name right now, but I think it's called giant something. I don't remember the last part. Giant something. But this one you can grow because this one is big, and you can cut it up and you can freeze this one, and the taste remain the same when you freeze it. So all these kind of varieties of pumpkins, you can grow them. Lettuce again is another one. Like you can just grow lettuce in succession, and then you can collect the seeds, right? So any vegetable or fruit that you can have the seed and you can regrow it the next year, it's a good thing to grow, to seeds to collect. So corn's the next one. You grow corn, then you just take uh leave a couple of your corn to dry, and then use that for seed for the next year. So you see where I'm going with that? Like, buy seeds that you can save, you can grow the plant and then get seeds from it. You understand? And if you have a space, then try to plant some fruit trees where you can get fruit also, so you can supplement your diet. And next thing you may want to be investing in, after you, let me not go there. Let's finish the seeds. So when you go to buy seeds and things, buy different varieties and make sure that the varieties that you choose, they grow well in your environment. Don't buy some seed that grows in Asia or something like that. It may not grow well in your area. I just always some money, because at this point now you need to keep your money in your pocket. So you need to be very strategic. Make a plan. Decide on the things that you and your family really enjoy, that you like to eat, and these are the things that you plant. And also plant things that you can store it for long, like garlic, onions, all that kind of stuff. You plant that. And when you plant onions, you can get the seeds from the onions. That's what I'm saying. When you buy certain seeds, they will flower and you will get the seeds, so you don't have to buy it the next year. So buy certain variety of onions, like the white onions. There's the yellow onions. There's the purple onions. They have different variety of the yellow, white, and yellow, white, and red onions. So they have different varieties, and different onions does different in depends on the climate. So I know the large white onion, like a salad onion, it does well in my area, and the red onions does well in my area. And then there's a yellow onion, but it's not so big. It's like the medium sized one. This one do well in my area, so I plant this tree a lot. I don't bother with any other varieties because I know these ones do well. So, but when you're a beginner, you just decide on what you want, and then you plant, and you'll see what works for you and what does not work for you. So make sure you have a plan, and don't buy anything unnecessary. Like if you don't like spinach, like don't be planting spinach. It's just a waste of seeds, right? Nobody's gonna eat it. If you don't like zucchini, don't plant in zucchini because nobody's gonna eat zucchini. You know what I'm saying? So only buy seeds and plant things that you're gonna eat. Now zucchini is a good one. I like zucchini, but my family they don't like zucchini too much. So I like to plant zucchini because I can also get a seed. Another one is cucumbers. Cucumbers are so yummy. I mean, if you don't like cucumbers, I don't know. But cucumbers, they have a lot of different varieties of cucumbers. There's pickled. There's one that you can pickle. This one, I like this one. There's one that's prickly. It's also a pickled one. There's a long, long one. I forgot the name that it's called, but it's very long. Like it looks similar to the ones that you buy in the grocery store. And then there's like a medium sized one, fat one, and then there's like a thinner one. So there's so much like varieties of cucumbers. Again, if you're a lover of cucumber, buy a couple of varieties and see which one gonna do well in your area, and then just the next year plant these ones that are gonna do well. Because when you plant different varieties of fruits or vegetables or whatever in your climate and they do well, that means they have adapted well to your climate, and then they will carry genetic material in the seed. It's already know, okay, I like this soil. Da da da. You understand? So when you plant it the next year, it's gonna do fine. So that's the advantage of saving your own seeds. It's gonna be a benefit to you, right? So go out there and find some seeds. But before you go look for the seeds, make sure you have a plan and decide what you're gonna grow for your family and the things that your family like to eat. The next thing you're gonna do is, since you're on this journey of gardening, you're gonna find yourself a deep freezer, because when you grow all this food, you have to put it somewhere. Okay, so find a freezer and then invest in. If you're gonna freeze your food, then they have to be in good freezer bags, because if you put your food in any kind of freezer bag, it makes this icy thing on them, and then it takes away the flavor. So there's sealers out there. They're different prices: $50, $90, $80, different prices. Go to the thrift store, see if you can find those um, seal test. They call seal test. I think it has a name similar to the milk. Get those this little machine, and then you can seal up your produce like spinach, tomato, whatever. Also, I would encourage you to start stocking up on cans. Get those ball canning jars and start to can some stuff also, because you're gonna need that. Because when you're growing food, you're gonna have a lot of food, and you're gonna need to do something with it, right? Because not everything you're going to use the same time. Some things are perishable. You need to freeze them, or you need to put them in some kind of oil, or some kind of you need to make some kind of solution, whether it be in salt or something, to keep them from going bad or prevent them from losing their flavor. So if you're going to freeze things, then you need the proper freezer bags with good seals on it, so like you will not get freezer burn. And then if you're going to put things in oil, also you need to have the proper jars to put them inside. So this is something that you're going to want to take into consideration and start doing. Another thing I'm going to advise you to do is start a prepper pantry. You notice people who comes on YouTube and they say, oh, be prepare, prep, and people are like, oh, you guys are just gloom and doom people. You talk about prepping. You see, these people were very, very right, because you see now, I'm 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 quite sure that these people, they have no problems right now, because they've been wanting and saying prep for so long. You see them having they're building a room, they're building an underground cellar to put their meat, and they've been storing up meat, they've been storing up things in 5 gallon buckets for years and years and years, and they're going through this set that they stored from 2024. Now they're putting a new set for 2025. You see these people, they've been doing all that stuff. Now they're fine, because when anything crash or anything, they're well prepared. They educated themselves, they gain knowledge, they practice, they have so much life skills now. So when disaster happens, they don't have to worry. That's what I always say on my channel, like, take information and use it to your advantage. Don't just pass over information. Don't pass over things. Use it to your advantage, because there's going to come a time when you're going to need it. Start a prepper pantry. And if there's so much prepping video here on YouTube, you can just go and type in prepper, and you'll see all these preppers that are out there prepping things. I'm a prepper too, but I don't prep to this extent. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't have like a special room with all this stuff. I just have some cupboards that I keep extra food inside, you know. Maybe my food's gonna last me 4 5 months, maybe that's for the max. But their food can last them for like 6 a year, 2 years. I saw this guy, like he has food that lasts him for 3 years. Like he's so like, how do you say, um specific with all his stuff. They're all labeled. It's very well organized and put together, and he built this room for it, and he has it in a um temperature control, and he has his shelves going all around the room, and then he goes in there and he has them all labeled by date and time when those things should be consumed. Like he's really like prepping like properly, so any disaster come, like he doesn't have to worry. You know, he has dried meat, like he hunts, you know, all that kind of stuff. So these preppers, they were not joking, like they're serious, and they're right, because now I guess none of them will be worrying about stuff. They're just gonna move to the next level and the next level to for them and their family, right? So lawn gardening, like I said, learn the tips on gardening. So learn about your soil composition. If you're gonna grow in pots, learn about what kind of salt to put in your pot, how to make jardin, how to, like jardin, which is your own fertilizer, like fermented fertilizer, how to do use compost, how to go outside and get leaves and put it inside a garbage bag. If you don't have this outside environment, outside surroundings, you know, you don't have like a piece of land, but using your your balcony or something to grow food. So learn about all that stuff and how to do it in a small space. But if you have space, then you don't have to worry about it, because you can just compost your leaf and stuff like that outside there, because you have the space for it. Okay. Start to go dumpster diving and find some pots, right? Get free things, because you know I'm all about getting free stuff. Start dumpster diving and get some free containers. Even on recycling day, knows it's a good time to drive around and find some containers and stuff that people throw out. You know, things people throw out, old barrels, people throw out all kind of things, and you can use them to grow food inside. So start opening up your eyes and come into a realization of certain things. Okay, so invest in some of those containers and things, and then you don't have to buy them. Also, you can go out there and you can get pallets and you can make raised beds with that. Go to YouTube Studio, not YouTube Studio, YouTube University, and also learn. Okay, learn things about gardening, because yeah, you're gonna need to learn that. And plan to grow enough food to feed your family. Realistically, like even if you have a balcony that you're gonna grow on, learn vertical gardening. You can grow a lot of food vertically. I watch this woman, I don't remember her name right now, but she's a black woman, black YouTuber, and she grows things on her balcony. It's like she has like a little, yeah, it's like a deck. She grows food on her deck vertically. And this woman, she grows pounds and pounds of food on her deck vertically. She has like vertical structures up, and then she has this you know, those containers and them that you buy, those plastic containers. I don't remember how you call them, but they grow vertically, they go around. You can buy them at a dollar store too, but they're not as fancy as these ones that they sell. But those fancy vertical containers with pockets all across. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. But she has, I think, 6 or 7 of those, and she has some other things that she has on her deck. And she's growing tons of food. She's canning, like she's doing all that stuff. Like I can't believe how much food that she's growing. She has pumpkins, tomatoes, cabbage, like everything that you can think about. She's growing it on this deck, and it's a small deck. I think the deck is like half the size of my living room. Like it's a small space, but she has set it up so nicely, and things are growing upwards. Upwards. She has everything growing vertically, and you know, a few things on the ground like some pots and things, but everything grows vertically. All her lettuces, all her pumpkins are growing vertically and hanging down. It's just incredible how she's growing stuff vertically. So vertical growing, learn about that. Okay, because that's gonna be like really really great. That's gonna be a game changer, and that's gonna change how much food and vegetables that you can grow. Okay, and like I said, plant food that you can store, especially like potatoes and carrots and pumpkins and squash and that. And I talk about getting a freezer, you know what I mean, and the canning jars and everything like that. So guys, I hope this video were helpful to you guys, and that you learn something from this video. And I hope that, like I said in my previous videos, like you don't go completely crazy and haywire, but you would take some sense from this nonsense and you'd use it to the advantage of you and your family. You would start thinking how you can make a difference and how you can change things that's going to be super beneficial for you and your family, you know. So like these are the things that I come here on my channel and tell you guys about, because sometimes, you know, people just giving their own idea here, here, here. I think this, I think that, woe is me, la la la. But nobody's giving like a solid solution and say, well, my goodness, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna go about that stuff? You know, food is the number one thing. Like you need food to eat, right? You need shelter, food, clothing, and shelter, you know. So make sure you have these three things down pack, and everything else is going to sort itself out, because if you're hungry, you cannot be thinking about anything else. Anybody who's hungry is not thinking about anything else except the hunger, you know. So the first thing you got to do is learn how to feed yourself. So if you can feed yourself and provide for your family, you are going to be perfect, you're going to be fine. So learn how to feed yourself and provide for your family. And like I said, if you have the space, you have acreage or something, plan to grow food for that will feed your family for an entire year. And if you don't have a lot of space, you know, just do the best that you can, but have some way to put that. All right. So guys, thank you everybody for coming to the live. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for the positive comments, and thanks for always watching and give me suggestions. Like I said, you guys have a happy Sabbath. Those of you who are celebrating Sabbath, I'm going to end the live because it's Sabbath. Sabbath is coming down. It's dark outside, so it's gonna be Sabbath. So happy Sabbath to everybody who celebrates the Sabbath. I'll see you in the next live. Bye. Stay positive.